Hi there. I'm coming to you today to follow up on a blog entry that I recently wrote about letting go of our crap. And what I mentioned in there, and what I'll say again right here, is that most of us are holding on to things that we've been holding on to for years and years and years. It could be a belief system, it could be something that someone said to us, it could be a tragic event or a trauma. And a lot of times those things that we hold on to, they just stick into our heads. They just kind of have a grip on our psyche. And we cycle back through them. Sometimes we have resentment. Sometimes we just become apathetic. And oftentimes we create patterns of behavior that mask or help us feel a little bit more in control, even though down below we're not. Some of those examples of masking behaviors are overeating, over-exercising, over-shopping, casting blame on other people. Oh, the list goes on and on. Self-inflicted pain inflicted upon other people. Sitting in front of the TV and just watching the world go by in front of you on the screen. Really most of our activities that are not mindful, anything that pushes us into an extreme or out of a sense of awareness, is our way of coping with and not letting go of our crap. And let's admit it, we all have it. We all have things that come in some form. Maybe we're a child, maybe it happened last week, and you're just stuck with that sensation, that emotion. So I have a suggestion of how to work through some of those beliefs, some of those feelings, and ultimately come into a better sense of peace about them and truly let them go by transforming them. So the idea is that we're going to practice celebrating the suffering. Okay, I'll say that again. We're going to practice celebrating the suffering, right? So another way of saying this is to honor or find value in what we are experiencing as suffering. Right? Suffering is not just having a limb cut off and bleeding to death, right? Suffering is anything that causes us to move away from our center, move away from being mindful, move away from our breath. And so if we are able to take an imaginary hot air balloon ride up, right? So you imagine yourself lifting up above a situation where you're not in the trenches anymore, but you can see it from a different perspective, a higher perspective. Start asking yourself the questions: what can I value in this circumstance? What is it that is bringing me something to learn? What am I learning from this? What is the value? How can I honor or celebrate this particular circumstance? And let's be clear, we're not talking about just seeing the bright side of things, okay? That's more superficial. That's easy to say and not as adhering. But I'm going to give you an example. So recently, just in the last week, there were 5 policemen in Dallas that were killed at a protest. And we're seeing people and communities destroyed almost every day, unfortunately, around the world. And this particular one was happening on our home country turf, but it's no less tragic. Okay, so let's take this example. We have 5 policemen who were killed in a protest. And our first glance at that is there's nothing to honor, there's nothing to celebrate. How can we ever honor or celebrate something about that? But I beg to differ. Again, if you can lift yourself up a little higher above the situation and look down on it with a bit more objectivity, here's what I see. I see 5 individuals, and there were more there, obviously. I see policemen, I see individuals who were out doing what they felt was their purpose in life, being police officers, protecting the community, offering a sense of well-being and security for those in their care. And they knew going into being police, they knew going into that their lives were at risk. Okay? And what I find so inspiring is that these individuals, these men, they went down with the ship fighting for what they feel is important for them to serve in this world. They went down with the ship believing in what they did. And I look at that and I think, wow, what am I so dedicated to that I'd be willing to go down with the ship, talking about it, acting on that, and being of service to my community? What is it that I'm saying? And what is it that I really want to keep fighting for all the way until I have no voice left? Even if that means I'm taken out in a tragic situation or I die of natural causes, what am I going to be fighting for? Why am I waking up every morning? What am I doing here? That's what's inspiring to me, is these people were doing what it is that they felt was important to do, and they died doing it. So what about us? What about you? What are you doing that's worth living all the way through every cell of your body until you no longer have life? See, that's the difference. And now when I think back on that experience, when I think back on the 5 men in the protest, I don't automatically think tragedy. I think, oh, how inspiring that is. And I just made the switch in my head. I made the switch into, this is something worth paying attention to. And it goes on. That's just one example. But you can do this too. Make the new association. Make the new association from what it is that's causing you your personal frame of suffering, your personal frame of discomfort or irritation or anger, anything. Make the new association. How is it holding value for you? What is it doing to serve you? How can you celebrate it in some way? And then let it go. Let that angry part of you be dissolved and open into the inspiration. You don't have to be a victim. You don't have to be a victim. Thank you. And if you'd like to get in touch with me in the future, you can reach directly out to my email address. That's headtotoes@gmail.com. headtotoes@gmail.com. My name is Emily Van Eman. Thank you.